So my Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen Don't Sleep on a video for the Nintendo Switch got a more traction than I thought, and that's good because the whole point of this video, or this type of video, is to alert people to games that they might overlook, that you definitely shouldn't overlook. And so far we're sticking to the Nintendo Switch, but I thought it'd be a good idea to keep it going because it's great that people are able to see, get some visual representation on Dragon's Dogma where it needed to be, and this one probably needs it a little bit less, but I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't sleep on Cuphead for the Nintendo Switch. This game, I feel like it was maybe, it wasn't overlooked in like gaming outlets and stuff, like IGN and everyone covered it all, a whole bunch, and realistically, if you were an Xbox owner in 2017, like that was kind of your option, like that was the exclusive, it was the premier exclusive for the Xbox One X. But I think people were kind of underwhelmed that that was the only exclusive, really, or the biggest. The first one that really brought true 4K to the One X, apart from Forza. So, yeah, we're going to dive right into Cuphead. But real quick, we are doing a giveaway. Every 10 subscribers, we give away a Steam code. There's a link on our channel homepage if you want to find out more. But, yeah, support's super appreciated. All you have to do is be subscribed. Alright, so, guys, the visuals, they speak for themselves. There's really three things that make up this game. All three are just as good, even though it may be hard to tell. There's the visuals, there's the audio, and there's the gameplay. And the visuals, guys, I mean, this is all hand-drawn, all hand-animated, 30s style artwork. There's, to my knowledge, never been a game quite like this. And to kind of counter that, there's never been a game that's pulled off the, we are going for a one-to-one visual representation of this style, and we're going to pull it off. I think the closest example I could think of is Dragon Ball FighterZ, where they basically tried to mimic the anime, and they get extremely close, to the point where if you were to swap out portions of the cartoon or the anime while you were playing the game, it might be hard to tell, but you could still tell. This, I would say, you'd be very hard pressed to show this to maybe an older person who's used to watching those cartoons, or people who watch Boomerang on Cartoon Network. Show them this and be like, hey, is this a video game, or is this a 30s cartoon? I think they nailed the art style. Again, it's all hand-drawn. There's a fair amount of documentaries or documentation on on the process, on like drawing the cells and everything, and how everything was animated. This is the most unique visual style of a 30s cartoon aesthetic that's ever been achieved in video games, easily. Then there's the audio, and guys, this is a game where you're going to be playing the same thing a lot. It's a challenging boss rush game. That's side-scrolling boss rush game, and you're going to die a lot, and that's totally fine, respectable. But if you were to die a lot and have to hear the same music or the same bits of the music, it wouldn't really be as fun. So what they did, because they took so many takes of these tracks, and again, these tracks are fantastic. There's going to be some playing right now from the soundtrack, but you should definitely check out the soundtrack. What they did was, it's jazz. There would be a fair amount of improv going on, and they would do so many takes that they actually have a bunch of, solos that they can pull through. And they'll randomly sample you a solo. So you're not necessarily going to hear the same soundtrack as you had heard it the last time. You'll hear the same underlying bass of the song, but you'll hear different solos. And that's very unique, especially in a situation where you're going to be seeing the same kind of gameplay again and again and again. If you have to fight a boss 50 times to beat him, it's nice to get some music variety, even if it's the same song. And it really works well. There's like 3 video game soundtracks that I ever listened to, just kind of on my downtime, just in the background. It's not really my thing, but the 3 I listen to are Nier Automata, Cuphead, and Persona 5. So if you guys are familiar with either of those 2 other games, and you're like, oh yeah, those soundtracks are really good, this stands head to toe, if not kind of trumps them in many ways. It's really great music. And the last thing is the gameplay. It's really solid. I kind of had a mixed reaction. There's a few things to talk about with the gameplay. One, don't give up on it. It's challenging, so it's going to take a little while, and there are some skills that you develop over time. Like you can unlock certain skills, and that makes the game a lot easier. The first time I played this, I actually kind of struggled a little, and I put it down for like a month, and then I picked it back up. But once I picked it back up, I basically finished it in an entire weekend. Like I played for like 12 hours that weekend and just did the minimum to get to the end. And then I played more after that. But it's challenging, but it's a rewarding challenge, and it's kind of similar to like a Celeste, where you die a lot, but you're spawned back in extremely quickly. And they keep kind of the vibe going. There's very little downtime between deaths, and the levels are very good. Almost all the bosses are fantastic, with very few like ridiculous difficulty spikes. The one kind of downside that I think a lot of people agree on are the side-scrolling levels aren't that great, but the good news is you can almost completely ignore them, or you can largely ignore them. Worst case, you just have to kind of sprint through them. So it's not that big of a deal, but even then they're not bad. So that's great. Like this is a great game. It took me probably about 20 hours to beat, and the reasons I think this would be great for Switch is, one, we've already seen the gameplay. It's looking very good. Assuming they can keep 720p on handheld, I think this is going to be fantastic. This is one of those games where you have to have the resolution as high as you can possibly get it. Switch, this would be a great game for tabletop mode, and a great game for a single Joy-Con on the TV or in tabletop mode. And I say that because you really only need one joystick to play this game, and that it would just work. And there's co-op, and you don't do split screen, so that small Switch screen would work on the go, where you'll have that one Switch screen. The characters are pretty big, and it's cartoony, so you'd be able to see things pretty fine. I mean, you have to dodge projectiles, but other than that, I think there would be no problem playing this with a friend and kind of undocking it, on the go, and just playing a little bit of Cuphead with your friends. I heard Cuphead is maybe a little more challenging with co-op. I experienced it as being more challenging because I played with people who aren't necessarily great at video games, but maybe if you have two people, it could be fun to just like get a crew going. But yeah, great game for single Joy-Con, great game to play on the go, even with single Joy-Con. And I've noticed, like when I'm traveling, I kind of have problems playing like Doom on like a plane or a train, where like a kid or something can like look over and see what I'm doing. It's not a huge deal, but sometimes I switch my game based on like what people are kind of able to watch. It'd be kind of like watching an episode of Game of Thrones on the train. People do it, but I don't know. I get weird about that. Cuphead, again, it's like one of those games where you have to worry. Anyone can see what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I mean that's you guys shouldn't sleep on Cuphead. It's really affordable. It's a great time. It plays to all the strengths of the Switch. So I hope you guys check it out. But that's all for me. Again, we are doing a giveaway, so if you made it this far, consider subscribing. Let me know if you want me to keep this kind of videos type going, like we did it with Dragon's Dogma. I'm trying with Cuphead. We can do a little deeper cuts if we need to. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I will catch you guys next time.